Alright, so why is Islam better than Christianity? Of course, there's so many different ways of looking at this, at why Islam as a religion is much better than Christianity, but to kind of start off with, if you believe that Jesus is the same God of the Old Testament, then that means you believe that Jesus was the same God in the Old Testament that sent bears to kill small children in 2 Kings 2:4. Just that already makes Islam and of course Muhammad much better than the biblical God, the biblical Jesus, who Christians think is God. And so yeah, of course, Islam was the only religion of its time to institute charity, zakat, something Christianity never really went around to doing. Of course, many Christians they didn't, of their own personal will, of their own personal convictions, they did create charity programs. I don't think the Gospels or the Old Testament has any explicit mention of charity, something that's not as explicit as in the Quran and in Islam. And so you can from this perspective, you can see how Islam is a lot better than Christianity. And you can now, this is a lot more relevant would be the historical perspective, because the Bible, no one knows who wrote or made the Bible, right? The manuscripts of the Old Testament, the Tanakh, the Torah, the Hebrew Bible, they cannot be dated to any of the biblical prophets accurately, right? We don't have any Torah that could be linked to the historical Moses. Right? All of the manuscripts of the Torah, of the Tanakh and Hebrew Bible, they come potentially hundreds and 1,000 years after these alleged historical persons or people, if they even existed, right? Of course, with Islam, the Quran, we have manuscripts of the Quran that can be dated exactly to the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. You have the Birmingham Quran manuscript, and that's then alleged to be literally in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. It can be dated exactly to his lifetime when he was potentially even alive. And so that, from a historical perspective, Islam has a lot more credibility. And you can also, the contradictions, the Bible contains very obvious contradictions that can't be reconciled. And you can go on to Google and you can just type in Bible contradiction. You can find dozens of websites that can detail out all of the major contradictions inside of the Bible. In the Gospels, there's different lineages for Jesus, and different genealogies given to him. Depending on which Gospel you read, right? The Gospels, they have different accounts of what happened exactly to Jesus, right? Who appeared at his tomb, how many people appeared at his tomb, what actually was going on when he was giving sermons and lectures. The Gospels all give their own different accounts, and that proves they weren't made by contemporary eyewitnesses, because if they were contemporary and they were made by the same eyewitnesses, all of the accounts would line up and match perfectly. They would be detailing out the same narratives and stories, but that's not what happens in the Gospels. The Gospels relate to Jesus very differently depending on which one you read, which would suggest that they're not reliable, and that's something you have to think about. Of course, the Bible, I would say the Old Testament's far more violent and bloody than the Quran. That's just, after I made sure to read the Bible twice, from Genesis to Revelations, and I read through a lot more violent stuff involving rape, involving torture, involving mass killings and genocides. All of this was more frequently found in the Bible than in the Quran, and that's something you have to appreciate. And if you are a Christian, I just highly suggest you to read the Quran and Bible side by side at the same period of time, and you'll see why Islam is a lot more decent, and why you should feel more inclined towards Islam and not Christianity. So